Deshaun Jackson was taken out of his home at age 13 after he and his sisters were being abused by his mother and her boyfriend. Deshaun felt afraid because he felt like he had no voice and that he was completely lost in the foster care system. That is until he was assigned a court-appointed special advocate, otherwise known as a CASA volunteer named Robert. Robert made sure that all Deshaun's needs were communicated in court and that Deshaun knew how to navigate the court system. On top of that, Robert also went to all of Deshaun's school events to support him and let him know that he was important. Fortunately, Deshaun had a CASA volunteer to help him with things that a social worker couldn't provide because of the overload of cases in the system. Many children in the foster care system do not have a consistent adult figure in their lives that CASA provides. That is why it is important that every foster child has a CASA volunteer so that they can help them cope with their situations. I volunteered with CASA over the summer, and I found that it was a wonderful nonprofit that deserves your donations. According to childrensrights.org, children spend an average of 2 years waiting to be adopted. The longer they wait in the system, the more likely they are to suffer from mental health problems. The Northwest Foster Care Alumni performed a study that concluded that 54.4% of alumni had significant mental health problems such as depression, anxiety, social problems, and PTSD. One of the reasons why children suffer from these mental illnesses is because they feel like no one truly understands them, and at such a young age that can severely damage a person's mental health. In the article, Growing Up in Foster Care, Carolyn's Story, Jennifer Hall Land, a research assistant at the University of Minnesota, said, "One of the most difficult parts about foster care was not knowing what was going to happen to me. There was always a sense of uncertainty and confusion. I was often scared and alone." The reason why children feel alone is because they are constantly being uprooted to a new home or facility. In the article, Foster Care, Not Another Sob Story, Rebecca Woods said, "However, I am lucky because I was only in 2 homes, while other kids I knew from support groups had been in up to 20. Children are constantly having to move, and they don't have time to get acquainted with other adults or even children, which leads them to feel like they are going through this alone. Most foster children don't have an adult figure to guide them through school, the court system, and life, which is the reason why most children in foster care struggle and make poor decisions. The mission of CASA is to give every neglected and abused child the opportunity to thrive and have a safe and permanent home. Volunteers are appointed by judges to watch over the child and make sure that their needs are communicated in court until the case is closed so that they are never alone. Almost all donations go back to the children and their needs, and they also go to training volunteers to represent the child in court. Sophia Williams Bogues wrote about her experiences with CASA in They Don't Know the Life of a Foster Child. She said, "My best memory in foster care was having a CASA volunteer. She knew I was strong enough to never give up." CASA volunteers fill the need for adult presence in the lives of these children. I am from Pulaski County, Missouri. We have a population of about 52,000 people. Cheryl Bohannon, the volunteer supervisor of CASA in Pulaski County, said that we have a total of 147 children in need of a CASA volunteer. That is how many children are in need in my small town. Imagine the need for the children in Jasper County, which has a population of 120,000 people. We can't expect everyone to volunteer because that takes hard work and dedication. However, every donation goes a long way for these children. Your donation will allow physical, mental, and spiritual needs for a child to be met, and it would put a child in good hands so that they get the same emotional support that we already have. This is a national nonprofit that deserves your donations because when this program gets funded, it gets more publicity, which brings in more volunteers and therefore more children get help. The children would be healthier because they have an advocate by their side the whole way, which would change the foster care system, but more importantly, would change the lives of these children.